a very great conversation and realizing that I did not press the go live button. You guys missed it. Could have been the single best conversation I've ever had on the history of Jesse Yogi doing burpees live streams, which it's not too far away from, well, I've been doing it for over a year. Started doing live streams July of 2023. Um, 1 second. I but I didn't start doing. I was afternoon lives, and then I started doing evening lives. I think it was a while, maybe November. I know I was doing YouTube clips, YouTube lives, whatever. Not YouTube, Instagram. I was going live on Instagram, and then I started coming here and doing short evening lives. And then I decided to skip Instagram and just do here. It's around then that I decided that I wanted to monetize. Um, I'm just replying to some comments while I'm here. Uh, I like to catch up on them. I don't like getting behind. People are kind enough to leave a comment, then, um, you know, it deserves a reply. It's not just a polite thing to do. I mean, it is polite, but it is the gracious thing to do. You know, showing how much you appreciate the fact that someone in a busy day. Hey, Jace did make it. I'm amazed. I thought you'd be conked out by now, my friend. If you take the time to leave a comment on a YouTube short or video or whatever, the very, very least I can do is say thank you. So I do. I try. I don't think I ever miss any, but you know, something might slip by. Or not, I can't read the name. Not Lucerina, oil up, please. Man, how do you know I'm not pre-oiled? I could have been oiled up by the time you got here, man. Give me a second, guys. First thing I do before I go live stream, I oil up because you never know. Someone might come in and ask you, you know? I appreciate you subbing. So that's not Jose, right? Am I getting that right? Or am I getting it wrong? It says I don't know. Yep. It's gonna be my secret. No one will really know. No one will ever know if Jesse Yogi pre-oils before he does a live stream. Well, here's the thing. If I was oiled up, I'd be probably slipping off of my chair. Let's see. Clee says, have a blessed day. Night, everyone. You too, my friend. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful message to leave for everyone. Let's see. Josh says, hey, bro, I'm from India. Want to buy medicine? Can you give me some money, please? I cannot give you money, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. However, I can, as our friend Clee, nope, I'm sorry, as our friend, yes, Clee said, I can send you blessings. I can send a prayer for prosperity and well-being. And I do. So may you have all the prosperity and well-being that you deserve, my friend. Joseph says, what's the moon like? They do say that when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, it's amore. So I'm going to say the moon is like love. The moon is love, you know? It affects the tide by its very poles. If that's not love, I don't know what is. That from millions of miles, billions of miles away, the moon can affect the tide. If that's not love, man, I don't know what is. Alone says, you look like Johnny since when he's 50. Then I'm 59. I would say Johnny looks like me. And you know what? You wonder if does anyone show up on Johnny's live stream and say, hey, you look like Yogi. Probably not. So our friend, our good friend, Be Confident says, barely any connection, but you're here. That's okay. Man, barely any connection. You're on the trail and you take the time to say hi. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's Be Confident says, I'm here though, and that's important to me. Let's see. Jace says, Joseph, be confident. Be Confident says, Eric, I heard Donald Trump won. Okay. Not much I can say about it. I think my feelings should be well known. I've never commented. I've never said I vote for this person or that person. But I think if anyone knows that the main theme of my life is kindness, compassion, empathy, and forgiveness, I think everyone knows who I stand for. And for me, this has been hard for me to wrap my mind around lately. It's been a little heartbreaking that I don't know. So, hey, I'm dealing with it. So, Jace, are you saying, Joseph, be confident? Are you giving advice, or are you saying, Joseph, and be confident and waving? Jace is waving out alone. Be confident says, isn't he a criminal? According to the courts, according to the people that he hurt. I think we know. I think everyone knows. I don't want to say more. It creates too much division, and no matter who anyone voted for, division's not going to help anyone whatsoever. Let's see. Jay says, be right back. Oscar's V-Day, and he's live. Hey, let me make sure that I get him up too. Give me a second, guys. Hey, Austin, how are you, my friend? Austin's saying hi to everyone. It's nice to see you. Joseph says, or am I thinking of ticks? Give me a second, guys. I'll catch up. On politics, sorry. Some sort of arachnid. Didn't you say that to us once before? Or am I thinking of ticks? I think you're thinking of ticks. All right, I'm going to catch up here. Austin says hi to Jace. Be Confident says, I don't care about politics much, but we need to make sure whoever won will actually be a good president. I agree. I agree. I think it's time for an overhaul. We need to start from scratch. Confident says, I'm a libertarian anyway. I was once a member of the Green Party, but no longer. I would say be confident that you are not a libertarian. You are Be Confident. You are a friend. You are a wonderful person. You are a spiritual being, and you happen to vote libertarian. Who you are can't be defined by a political party, nor be defined by a body, nor be defined by a job, a religion. You are undefinable, my friend. Absolutely perfect. Jace says both. I thought it was both. And let's see. Tandra says, hey, Yogi. Hey, Tandra. Tomorrow, guys, we are pushing to get Tandra to 1K subscribers. If you're not subscribed to our friend Tandra, please do. Confident says, just lately, I've been thinking of political stuff. Me too. It's all nonsense. It's hard not to think of politics, especially if you're in the States and it's November and it's an election year. However, what a perfect opportunity to heal. Perfect opportunity to come together. I know I had to examine some things in my life. I thought I was at the point where forgiveness almost came naturally, easily to me, but not yet. I got some work to do, which is good because now I know. Love 2024. All right. I vote love 2024 all the way around. Confidence says, thanks, Yogi. Absolutely, my friend. Tanja says, hey to Jace, and sends a lot of love. Be Confident says, I did vote. It doesn't and shouldn't define me. I don't think it ever would, but it certainly does for some people, doesn't it? Confidence says, Yogi, I proudly support the gay community. I think everyone should support that, no matter if they are left or right. I agree. It should not even be a political issue. Transgendered should not be a political issue. It's a social issue because it's going to take some getting used to now that it's very prominent in society. I have a member of the trans community in my family who is very vulnerable right now. So it is a personal thing for me, very much so. Tanya says, looking forward to stream tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. Be Confident says, it's 2024 for crying out loud. Exactly. Exactly. We are not in the dark ages. Let me wish Oscar a happy birthday real quick. They are getting in the big reps. As did Jace. Be Confident. Jace got 1,000 burpees today. Under 3 hours. The Holy Grail. Let's see. Y2 Dark Gaming says, what's going on, man? Not much. Hey, YT. Give me a second here. I'm just making sure that we are connected, and we are. Wouldn't want to miss that connection. I thought we were, but you know what? Sometimes YouTube kicks off subscriptions, or sometimes we think we hit the subscribed and we don't. So I wanted to double check. Confidence says, Yogi, I have to get to bed. I'm walking more tomorrow. Well, thank you, Confident. I appreciate you stopping in. Be Confident says, awesome. Jace, checking out and comment. Nice. Man, awful kind of you. Stopping in. Jace is on the trail. He's hiking. He's doing a long distance hike. He's doing the hike of a lifetime. He's actually doing my dream life. He's doing my dream hike. So be confident. You're hiking for the both of us, my friend. YT says, yeah, they do. Same, connected with you as well. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. We're not going to be a super long live stream tonight. I'm going to try to get in an hour chatting with my friends. Tanya says I got 30-hour watch time from my trial loop today. That's absolutely awesome. Man, that's going to be huge. Tundra, 30 hours in a day, not mentioning other hours that you may have gotten throughout. You're going to have a huge weekend. Chad says, I got to be honest, Eric. I hate my effing life. Chad, being honest is where it starts. So what can we do? Where can we start? Let me know, and let's start. Let's build the life from scratch. The life that you're living right now, Chad, it's not your true life. It's not the life that you are meant to live. It's the life that you are perceiving. Let's change those perceptions. Better yet, let's get rid of those perceptions. Tandra says, yeah, I was amazed. Jay says, awesome, Tandra. Hey, Chad, are you on Facebook by any chance? Here's the thing. I don't know that I can help you. Here's what I do know. That I can listen. That I can talk with you. Hey, my email is in the on my page. If you send me an email and we can chat on email, just because I can write more, and maybe we can find a way to do a video call, like WhatsApp or something. Chat says maybe. The thing is, living the life you meant to live isn't a matter of trying. It's a matter of changing your mind. And I don't mean by just changing the mind the way we change our mind from Chinese food to pizza. I'm going to get pizza. I was going to order Chinese, but I'll get pizza instead. Changing your mind means literally changing how you perceive your life. And when you change the way you perceive your life changes. But it comes from the heart. All change comes from the heart, not from the brain. We can't keep dealing with effects. If I rearrange my life, if I rearrange my desk, it's still a desk. It might be an organized desk, but it's still a desk. You need to change from the heart. Chad, you don't need to try good. You are good. You are good. You don't need to try to be who you are. Hey, poor man. Way to get the reps in. Another 300. Jason's poor man. Great live, bro. So, Chad, I told you a bit. You've heard me mention in the live streams about my own life. Pancake says, like done. I appreciate that, my friend. How are you? Poor man says 300 turned into 500. Why am I not the least bit surprised? That's awesome. Poor man says, thank you, brother Jace. Chad says your life was sad. My life was sad. And you know what? Here's the thing. Even when my life began to turn around, a lot of sad things still happened. Sad things are always going to happen in life. But here's the thing. I wasn't drinking every day. I wasn't wallowing in my suffering. In fact, although there was a whole lot of sorrow, I wasn't suffering any longer. And that's a big difference. I spent a decade drinking myself into a stupor, night after night after night. For no good reason other than I thought that's what I deserved. I didn't deserve anything better. Drank myself out of relationships. Wrecked my car several times. Very nearly killed other people and myself. Blessed by God that didn't happen. I don't know how. And I was blessed with an end to drinking in an instant. My life changed in an instant. Now I had to rebuild things. Jess says I don't want to suffer anymore. So let's work on it. Let's start meditating. I will teach you how to meditate absolutely for free. When I got serious about my meditation, everything in my life began to change. It's not magic, but I started seeing possibilities where before I didn't see any possibilities. And how do you see a solution? How do you find a solution to life's problems if you can't even perceive of a possibility? When I started meditating, I got creative. I got inspired. I started doing things that I never dreamed of doing before. And the things that I had long wanted to do just started happening. I can't promise you the same results I got. However, I can promise you the results that you will get. Poor man says, I'm up on 5 months. I haven't drank. How you feeling, poor man? And how's your sleep, by the way? Jay says, I'm very fortunate. My self-control limits me. I'm about 8 and had 2. Plus my abs advantage. I had better abs when I was drinking than I do now. Talk about depressing. I'm not a person that can do things in moderation for long. I can start out in moderation, but then as my 1,400 and some days of burpees in a row attest to, and get a little carried away from time to time. Chad says if I take one step forward, 10 back. So, Chad, there's no forward, there's no backwards. There's just life. There is just life. Good things are going to happen. Unfortunately, some bad things are going to happen. Psychological suffering is optional. Here's the difference. When sorrow happens, you don't suffer. You just experience sorrow. When sorrow happens and you say, I don't want this. I refuse to have this. When is this going to end? Why does this always happen to me? Now we've added suffering into the mix. You don't have to suffer, my friend. Life is often full of suffering, but not only. Not only. Life is beautiful as well. But there's a way out. There's a way out of the good and the bad. There is a way of being equanimous. And it's not difficult. Jace says, it's when you don't make the same mistakes again, you're learning. Wise advice from our friend Jace. Jace is, he's just a little bit younger than me. A little bit younger than me, infinitely better looking than me. I do believe he's balder than me too. I can't say accurately, but I think so. But being close to my age, Jace has experienced his share. You don't get to be 50, almost 51, without your share of sorrows in life, without setbacks. And yet Jace is one of the happiest people I know. Chad, that can happen with you. I promise you that can happen with you. Jace is laughing. Chad, you may have stumbled across this live stream completely by accident, but the fact that you like to come here and participate means that you are open. You are open to things changing. Chad says, we're trying. I know you are, my friend. But what if I could tell you there's an easier way? Sometimes we try so hard, we try so hard, and we try so hard, and we don't get the results that we expect. And it just leads to more suffering, more disappointment. And it's a perpetual cycle. You got to get off the cycle. Get off the cycle. Number one, relax, breathe. Life can and will get better, my friend. Hey, Martine. Hey, Martine. Can you do me a favor? Life is difficult for our friend Chad. And you and I've talked a bit on here. And I know you've had your sorrows, your disappointment. I know that you've suffered. Can you just let Chad know that life can change? That life will change. And I know, Chad, you're trying. Chad says I'm open. I know you are. And I know you're tired of life crapping on me. Man, I've been there. Ortiz says life is a disappointment if you let it be. You know, in the Bhagavad Gita, one of my favorite books to quote from, the conversation between Krishna and Arjunan. Arjunan was a prince. And he talks about karma yoga. Karma yoga is a way of transcending the karma of our life. Karma simply means motion, it means action. It's not punishment, it's not retribution, it's not justice. It is simply the results of all the thoughts, all the actions that we've ever done. Krishna tells Arjuna that you are entitled to your actions, but not the results of your actions. So you surrender. Everything you do, give up the thought of why you're doing it and surrender it to whatever version, concept of God, or if you're an atheist, surrender it to life, surrender it to reality, surrender it to the universe. Martine says, life is what you want it to be. Don't let it disappoint you. Don't let disappointment be your judgment. And she says, Chad, stay healthy. Don't let disappointment judge your mind. Be open and welcome everything. Welcome everything. What if everything you're going through right now, Chad, is teaching you something, leading you somewhere? It's not easy. But what journey is? What journey that's ever been worthwhile is? Man, if you can transform your heart into what Martine was saying, where you just welcome in everything. Let me read something, if you don't mind. I've been reading poetry all day. And if you don't mind, we'll keep it up just a little bit. I've read this several times before. Give me 1 second, guys. So we had read Rumi earlier today. Rumi was a great Sufi poet. Let me make sure that I'm caught up in the chat before I read it. Jason sends love to Martine. Let's see. Aris Abbas, did I get that right? Is here, and he offers me a bone. Well, thank you very much, my friend. You are the first person. Hey, Jace, how come you've never offered me a bone before? First person to ever do that. Thank you. Chad says, I got to be honest. I think more of venting it all more often. Just no plan. I'm tired of letting loved ones down. You don't let loved ones down. It's an impossibility. That's always on them. Harris says, need to eat burgers and chips. Well, that sounds incredibly unhealthy. Incredibly unhealthy. Why would I need to eat burgers and chips? No one needs to eat chips. We can say burgers are optional, but no one needs to eat chips. Actually, no one needs to eat burgers either. Let's see. Harris Smith says, you look like a skeleton. Actually, go check out my workout videos. You know, my face is lean. I'm old, man. I'm 59 years old. What am I supposed to look like? Jay says I need my bones. All right. That's a valid reason. Food from Afar says, Chad, I've been there and don't go there. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, Chad. Thank you, Martine. Thank you. Toy Pups, my friend, how are you? Chad says, Irish dilemma, eat potatoes or let it ferment. That is the Irish dilemma. Jay says, Pupsy Mumsy, hiya. Man. Once again, the things you guys make me read. Believe it or not, there was a time in my life I had a tough guy persona. I wouldn't be caught reading Pupsy Mumsy, hiya. And now not only do I read it, but I smile when I do. Food from Afar says, Chad, you can reach out to me. I'm in Ireland. Toy Pup says, you look perfect, Yogi. No one should ever body shame. I agree. No one should. And thank you so much for that. You know what? I was joking, and because I take all that kind of stuff in stride. When I was big, when I was 220-pound powerlifter, um, people would comment how I look at 220. When I was 170 and an Olympic weightlifter, people would comment. Someone's always commenting on something, and it's just that. But you brought such an important topic that you brought up. Body shaming. No one should ever body shame anyone for any reason. People feel free to do so on social media because they're somewhat anonymous, but it's always on you. If you do such a thing, it is always on you, and it is a mark on your soul that you will have to deal with sooner or later. May as well deal with it now by simply not doing it anymore, by entering a room, entering a live stream kindly and gently. It would have been just as easy for you to say, man, for an old guy, you don't look too shabby. As a matter of fact, if anyone here wants to say, hey, Yogi, for an old guy, you don't look too shabby, I'm up for it. Hey, Reaper. How are you, my friend? Thanks for being here. Man, this is 2 nights in a row. I get to hang out with Burpee Reaper. Jace says, Reaper. Hey, Reaper, you got a big congratulations for Jace, the newest member of the Holy Grail. Chad says, I'm really more Polish, even though I have an Irish last name. Gotcha. I am McCarty is Scotch-Irish. My mother was Hungarian. Her mother, straight from Hungary, my grandmother. As well as a bunch of little other stuff thrown in. Reaper says, Jace, I was watching your 1K burpees. Congratulations, brother. I'll post a comment and share you out. Nice, Reaper. Martine says, Chad, if you feel low, reach out. I'm serious. Thank you, Martine. And Chad, of course, you know. Chad comes here, he says, comes here to an event, and you know you're always welcome. Reach out to me by email, by WhatsApp. If you want to meditate, I will teach you how. Hey, let me read something for you while I'm here, while I have it up. I'm going to fall behind in the live stream for just a bit. Apologize. Chad says, I don't know what help would work. Meditation, breath work, prayer, yoga, walking in nature. All of it works. All of it works. I laid out a program of breath work and getting out in nature and how that can change your life. Reaper says, I did 3 Holy Grails this year. This was a huge year for Reaper. Fruit from Afar, Martine says, you just won an event. Martine says, Chad, so you don't want help. Get a good cry in. That's what we're here for. Jason's going to do it again. A few weeks. Thanksgiving with Jacob. What's new, Skeeter? Martine says, we would help Chad if you really want help. Yes, we will. We will. Nature in the morning. Practice nasal breathing. Natural and easier. Breathing through the nose, exhaling through the nose. So let me read this for you. This is from Rumi. Rumi's a beautiful Sufi poet. 12th century Sufi poet. I've read this before. I think Toy Pups might remember it. I think I read it for her. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows, who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, Treat each guest honorably. He may be cleaning you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them all at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. We don't know why we suffer, Chad, I'm sorry. We don't know why we suffer. We don't know why we are experiencing this or experiencing that. We don't have a choice. Here's what we have a choice about. Can you welcome each thing into your life? Can you welcome it? The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, probably pronouncing his last name wrong, called it welcoming your fate. But not just welcoming your fate, embracing it. And that's how you transcend it. That's how you bring joy to everything. Joy to everything. This too. Yes, this too. Can you say everything in life? Everything that comes into your life? Yes, this too. I can love myself through this. Can you fall in love with yourself so deeply? Just like you would fall in love with your wife, your children, your pet. Can you fall in love with yourself so deeply that no matter what happens, you would never let yourself down? That you would hold yourself, you would love yourself, you would walk in nature and breathe and appreciate the fact that you are still alive, still full of possibilities, and that tomorrow or the next moment is going to be beautiful. Chat says, thank you all. Absolutely, my friend. Northern Starseed says, Yogi, everyone, my friend. Reaper says, I'm down for that, Jace. So, Reaper, you coming out of retirement one more time? Martine says, Chad, if you're serious about help, then reach out. I've been there, no joke. No accident that you are here, Martine. Jake says, Skeeter. Reaper says, contractions, Jace, 1K is some serious work. Yeah, it is. Jace says, not until you call me. Not until you call. Reaper says, is the Reaper returning so he can do 1K session with Jace? I think probably so. Chad says, thank you all. Chad, you're welcome. And anytime. This is your room. This is where you come if you need anything. Jace says, oh, I'm waiting to shave. I bet. Martine says, you're very welcome, Chad. And I mean it. If you need a friend to talk to without an agenda, I'm here for you. Hey, Chad, please let me make it easy here. Let me put, Chad's been coming visiting for a while. Let me make him a moderator. So, Martine, if you want to reach out to Chad. Chad, if you want to reach out to Martine. Chad says, I'm blowing my nose with a paper towel. I do come here to cry. Hey, man, whatever service I can be for anyone. It's why I'm here. Jace says, Chad, emotions are a sign of love. Embrace it, buddy. Thank you, Jace. Food from the Forest says, got you, Chad. So, Chad, cultivate love for yourself, and it overflows in everything in your life, and love transforms the life that we have. Love will transform the life that you have. I promise you that. Anything is possible is here. Bob, how are you? Bob says, Martine. So, Bob, I've been told that a vegan showing up into a Deer blind is bad luck. Is that true? Because they did pop in to wish you luck, to wish you support. You're feeding your family. That's what I wanted to come in and give you a vegan blessing. Feed your family, my friend. Bob says, hey, Eric and friends. Chat says, I'm tired of being tired. I know you are. And like I said, the fact that you come here just to hang out, it shows me that you're open. You are open. Teen says, hi to Bob. Chase says, get more content up, Chad. Looks awesome. Looks interesting. Martine says, Chad, reach out. Don't be tired. Please, you have people here for you. Absolutely. Thank you again, Martine. Bob says, hey, Jace. Bob says, he's laughing. You can join my deer blind anytime. Thank you. Thank you for that. Stuart was like, man, you need to hang out with Bob in the deer blind. And I was like, the last thing Bob needs is a vegan saying, don't shoot it, don't shoot it. Let this one go. Over and over again. Bob's in a $50 hotel room. I also like to live dangerously. $50 hotel room in New Jersey. That's about as dangerous as you can get. Over in Jersey on the stripper run, having a blast. Nice. Jace says, deer blind. Hey, Moskva, how are you? Bob says, Jace, the deer blind is 99% ASMR with a 1% chance of, well, you know. Well, you were bow hunting, so at least it would have been quiet. Jace is waving at Moss. Chad says, there's more than just putting food on the table for family. It's about being the best you can for family. And you can do that. You can be the best that you can for your family. As you said, there's more than just putting food on the table for your family. But there's nothing more than love. There is nothing. Love isn't a commodity. So there's absolutely nothing more than it. And nothing less than it either. Give yourself all the love that you deserve, and it will overflow to your family in abundance. And that, my friend, will be a life worth living. And you can do that. Martine says, you're welcome, Yogi. If I can help just one person, then I am fulfilled, my friend. Chad says, not the best that I can be at this point, but you can be. Chad, how have you ever failed? You have produced some results. Are you unhappy with those results? It certainly sounds that way. Can you now let that go and produce a new result tomorrow? The past doesn't have to haunt you. One of my all-time favorite lines from A Course in Miracles is the one holy true thing that one can say about the past is that it's not here. The past is not here, Chad. It's a thought. Every memory you have is a thought, and a thought can never truly harm you unless you give it the power to harm you. Divest the thought from power. Divest the past from having any power on you, and you are absolutely free. And in that freedom, you can create anything you want in your life. Anything. Moss Claus, when will I get a mod? It's a good guess. Very good question. I'm going to have to ponder that. I'm going to have to think about that. So I thought about it. And you are now a mod? I'm sorry it took me so long. You know what? It never, sometimes, unless people sort of ask about it, or they're actively trying to build their channel, or they say I'm trying to build my channel. So I apologize. I apologize, Moss. You should have been a long time ago. Chad says, I failed big time. You have not failed big time. You are here now. Chad says, I love my wife, kids, work 40 to 50 hours a week for them. I still fail them though. Bob says, every day is a new chance, Chad. Every day is a new start. I wrecked plenty of days. More than that, it's every single moment is a new moment. A friend of mine, the author Robert Saltzman, who wrote The 10,000 Things and Depending on No Thing, 2 great books. He calls it, each moment is a once upon. No moment is ever the same as it was before. That means every moment, if we put this in terms of not strictly Christianity, but this would be what the Course in Miracles would say. Every moment you have a choice. You can choose the crucifixion, where you are crucifying yourself. And when you crucify yourself, you're crucifying your family as well. There's no separation between them. So you can crucify yourself, or through the power of forgiveness, and forgiveness means you just return to the present moment, you can choose the resurrection. Each moment is at once the crucifixion and the resurrection, and it's up to you to choose. It's up to you to choose. Resurrection means rebirth. You get to be reborn each moment, each and every moment. A once upon. So there's no mistakes, because if the past doesn't exist, how can there be a mistake? I saw that, Jace. I'll be sewing when Eric reads this. I'm getting there. Jace says, best of all sleep time. Well-deserved sleep for Jace. Chad says they don't drink too much, don't cheat, honest, and I feel horrible. Hey, Chad, have you been in therapy? It's helpful for so many people. It's been amazingly helpful for my ex-wife. Probably being my ex-wife has been amazingly helpful for her as well, to be honest. Martine says, Chad, stop saying you failed. The only thing in failing is saying I give up. Moss says I might get a real tail for my grandma soon. So excited. Nice. Wow, a real tail. Moss says, yay. Chad doesn't do drug. Moss Claus says, I'm blue. You are blue, my friend. Bob says, wife, kids, and 40 hours a week. You're in the trenches taking on heavy artillery. People write songs about that type of commitment. You the man, Chad. Keep your head up. Thank you, Bob. Man, what a awesome. Bob says, Jason, 100%. Tanya says, anything is here. Chad said the kids can feel the negative going on in the house, but that's entirely up to you. You can honestly change that. The negative keeps overpowering the house. That can change. It literally can change in an instant. Bruce says, Chad, if you, Martine says, Chad, if I can put my trigger aside, you can stop the negativity in your life. Stop and just reach out to friends. Absolutely. Moskva says, I think everyone should try therapy. I have quite a bit. Chad says I was, but not a marriage therapist. All forms of therapy. Marriage therapy, if your relationship needs it. Personal therapy as well. Here's the one thing with therapy, though. It deals with effects. It deals with behavior. It never quite gets to the cause of all those behavior. The behavior always stems from fear. Fear that we're not enough. Fear that we'll disappoint people. Fear that there is more going on in life and we're never going to reach it. Fear, 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 fear. And we project it outwards, and that's the world we live in. Our world is a world of perception created by what we project. If you change, you can spend your entire life trying to change those perceptions, and it's a fruitless task. Some things get better, some things get worse, and we're just going back and forth. But if you can change the projection, by forgiving the fear. Remember, forgiveness doesn't mean saying, I forgive you, I forgive this person, I forgive whatever. Forgiveness returns you to the present moment. It recognizes the original innocence that Chad was when he was born, the original innocence that was there when Chad was 12, and the original innocence that is there at whatever age Chad is now. Has never been tarnished, has never gone away, is there and present. It's who you are. That's what you've returned to. Jay says, see you in a few hours. Sleep well. You too, my friend. Chad said I had a horrible ex that wants horrible things for my wife and I. I'm sorry about that. That wants horrible things. Only once. Gotcha. But that doesn't need to affect you. It can seem like it does. Hey, Michael. Chad said an amazing therapist that became a really good friend of mine, my wife and me. Nice. Hey, Chana Sold, how are you? Martine says, sorry, Yogi, I have to go to bed. Chad, if you're serious, then you know how to reach out to me. If you're not, then no one can help you. I hope you choose a friend. Thank you, Martine. Thank you for being here. Chad says, I wish I could go back to my younger self. The things I would put in my younger self. Chad says, pound into my younger self. Chad Sold says, I'm great. I'm glad to hear that. Hey, Chad, you don't need to go to your younger self. You can go to yourself right now. You can go, there's only one self. There's not a younger self. There's not a future self. To be honest with you, there's not even a self. The self that you think you are is actually a psychological illusion. It doesn't exist. It's a concept of who you are. And you are not a concept. Who you are is greater by far than any concept can possibly be. If you knew that, give me 1 second. I'm taking my sleep supplement. It's an herbal, it's called herbatonin. It's natural plant melatonin. Chad, I'm going to read something for you again. I read it earlier today. This was Thomas Merton was a Jesuit priest. And He had a great awakening that was beyond his Christian faith. And here it is. And this is who you are. This is from Thomas Merton. Then it was as if I suddenly saw the secret beauty of their hearts, the depth of their hearts, where neither sin nor desire nor self-knowledge can reach, the core of their reality, the person that each one is in God's eyes. If only they could see themselves as they really are. If only we could see each other that we may all the time, only see each other that way all the time, there would be no more war, no more hatred, no more cruelty, no more greed. I suppose the big problem would be that we would all fall down and worship each other. Here's the important thing. The secret beauty of their hearts, the depth of their hearts, where neither sin nor desire nor self-knowledge can reach, the core of their reality, the person that each one is in God's eyes. If only they could see themselves as they truly are. That's who you are, Chad. No mistakes, no failures. That's who you are. So you don't need to think about your younger self or a future self. Who you are is right now. Oh, you are Chad, my friend. You are indeed lucky enough for that to happen. As a matter of fact, you could think of the things that you're experiencing now as your spiritual path that is leading to that great awakening. But an awakening you don't automatically have money in your bank account. You don't automatically have this, you have that. But you have a way of seeing things differently. For me, getting pulled over for a DWI was my great awakening. I think I told you this in the morning once. After a decade of destruction, leaving destruction behind me everywhere I went, getting pulled over, I had a clear, even in a drunken haze, when I saw that light behind me, I had a clear notion. If I never wanted to take a drink again, I never had to. It was done. I just needed to step in that direction. It was a quantum moment. And I stepped into a brand new life. Never had a drink again. And it was the easiest thing to do in the world. There was some loneliness afterwards. I left a lot behind. There was other issues, but drinking wasn't one of those issues. Trying not to drink wasn't one of those issues. I left it behind me in an instant, an awakening. Zen, they call it a satori. It can happen to you in any moment. And everything that you've been through is leading you there. Hey, Sniper, my friend. Sniper says, greeting beautiful souls from across the pond, but under the same skies, driving but listening. I appreciate that. Chad says, I don't like who I am now. Here's the important thing, Chad. You are not who you think you are right now. So the person that you are not liking doesn't really exist. It's not there. You are not that person. You've never have been. It's an illusion. It is a conceptual collection of ideas of who you are that's not even yours. You inherited them from parents and grandparents and siblings and teachers and clergy and books and magazines and media, friends, co-workers, bosses. They've all given you concepts of who you are. That's not who you are. If you could see yourself through God's eyes, is what Thomas Merton was saying, you would fall in love with yourself instantly. How could you not? Chad says, what was your drink of choice? I began my night, most nights, not every single night, but man, 5 nights out of the week probably. I drank every night, rare exceptions. If I had a big workout, I competed in some martial art tournaments. I competed in powerlifting. So if I had something big, I might take the night off from drinking. I might not. All depends on how I felt. Um, I would start with a shot of tequila and a Rolling Rock. Don't know why Rolling Rock. It's as good as beer as any. I think I like the green bottles and the fact that it's from Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and Latrobe was not far from where I was born. I was born in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. My dad's family was from northern Pennsylvania, all the way up in Sullivan County, where my family dates back since the early 1700s. Well, it says, and try to be the who you express yourself. What do you mean, Moss? Michael's saying, hey to Squirrel Sniper. Moss says, alcohol, I think. Chad says, it feels too real not to be an illusion. It does. It does. But just because it feels real doesn't make it real. The desk, can you hear the desk that I'm pounding on? Is just a collection of parts. It's not actually a desk. If I took it apart, it would just be parts that could make a desk. Now, if I took those parts and I put it under a very powerful nuclear microscope, I would see that it is a collection of molecules, a collection of atoms, a collection of particles, all dancing around in an infinite emptiness. And yet somehow I stub my toe on it several days a week. And it hurts. And that's very real. An illusion can hurt. It doesn't make it real. But when you see through the illusion, that's when things start getting better. You are the awareness of the illusion, but not the illusion itself. Oh, he said Rolling Rock Hood beer. I was thinking that you literally meant Hood beer. He said good beer. I liked it. But I liked all kinds of beer. I like dark beer. But you know what? I easily left it behind. Chad says we have rocks and wing night here. Nice. The baby rocks in a bucket. Let's see. Sniper says it took me a stomach pump in a Spanish hostel. Get me to stop 27 years ago. But you stopped. That's the important thing. Musco says, I don't think you're getting the comments in order. Probably not. I might be reading them out of order too. Jet says, I can't wait to see through this illusion. You can right now, simply by doubting that it's real. Who would you be if you didn't have the thought of being a failure? If you didn't have that thought, who would you be? Who would you be if you did everything that you're doing, working 40 to 50 hours a week? Who would you be if you didn't have the thought that it wasn't working for you? Who would you be if you didn't have the thought that all of that and you're not getting ahead? Who would you be without the thought of getting ahead? And I'm simply saying you didn't have that thought at all. It didn't exist. Who would you be? You would be who you truly are. It would just be what you do. Yes, baby rocks. Hey, Easy. How are you, my friend? Chad says, at least he stopped. Yeah, absolutely. Moss says, I drink Coca-Cola. Good. Good. Chad says, I'm still a failure if I keep letting my wife down. Letting your wife down doesn't make you a failure. It makes you someone who believes they're letting their wife down. Let go of that belief, and that gives you the possibility of choosing something other. Sorry, guys. You hear my cat? Right now, if he didn't have that thought of failure, failure wouldn't exist. Let's see. Alex Chandre? Is Alex okay? Because I'm going to mispronounce it, and I apologize for that. I am civil and respectful. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Easy says apparently Warren Buffett drinks Coke and eats McDonald's every day, and he's like 93. Amazing that his health is normal. Wow. Some people are blessed. Alex says, you talk neo-Nazi stuff here. This is the first time that has ever been broached. No, we don't. Chad says, I got to be honest, I'm drinking Captain of Coke right now and crying now. I'm not saying everyone needs to put alcohol aside, but when we are going through some tough times, it can definitely manipulate our beliefs and our emotions. It can create a sense of negativity and depression. Runner Boy says failure is just a longer way to success. Nice, Runner Boy. Chad says it makes things stop, but I can't. It makes things worse, but I can't stop. You can. You can. You certainly can. Alex says, are you liberals? I don't know what anyone is. I've never asked. I have never asked anyone's policies, politics, their religion, their beliefs. I have zero interest in any of that. Runner Boy says, nah, I'm Irish. Easy says, I drank a lot of alcohol last night, and today has been rough. Yeah, it takes a toll. It certainly takes a toll. Chad says it helps, but at the same time, makes things worse. Sniper says, I don't take sides. Alex. Tennessee White Trash says, man, you need to get a check for HIV or, let's see, I don't see what the last one is. Man, I just find it so hard to believe that someone named Tennessee White Trash would come here saying such things. Moscow says, I'm so happy I'm getting a foxtail. Absolutely awesome. I hope you post a photo on your community page. Hey, Chad, how about we give meditation a try? Runner Boy says, foxtails don't hurt when you step on them. It depends on if there's a fox attached or not. Chad says, just venting to you helps a lot. I'm glad. That's what I'm here for, man. But if you ever decide that you want to start meditating, it's literally life-changing. It helps you become responsive versus being reactive. Chet says, you're an amazing person. I appreciate hearing that. I'm just someone who's made a whole lot of mistakes. One of says foxtails are spiky thorns we have in UK yogi. Ah, gotcha. Mossclaw says no, just accessory, so it wouldn't hurt. No, just an accessory, so it wouldn't hurt. Gotcha. Mossclaw says okay. Chad says you make me cry in a good way. Well, I'm good. Good. Cathartic. It's a good way to get it out. Every tear is creating a new opportunity. You are shedding the old, you're stepping into a new light. We're going to be shutting the live stream down in just a few minutes. I'm going to get some sleep. As I mentioned before, I'm up pretty early. I will be here tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Chat says I'm a 50-year-old crybaby now. Nothing the matter with that. Letting those tears out, man, it's so good for the soul. If you didn't get those tears out, they just build up. All that despair. Sniper says, "Oh, I get to pity someone tonight." Who are we going to pity, Squirrel Sniper? Runner Boy says, "Yes, Yogi feels weird. Your live ends early for me now." So, I think we're going to shut things down. Mothclaw says you're also old, not in a mean way. Yeah, I don't take things like that as being mean. You know, it's 59. It's not ancient. Some say 60 is the new 40. I'll let you know. 50 was a good year for me. I ran my first 100-mile race. I finished my first 100-mile race when I was 50 after 3 failed attempts. A week after my 50th birthday, everything came together. My training, my nutrition, it all came together. Chad says, I named one of my kids Eric after my grandfather. Was amazing also. I miss him. Yeah, I miss my father tremendously. I mentioned before the greatest thing that ever, the greatest opportunity, the greatest blessing, and the hardest thing I've ever did was being a caregiver for my father. When I was a caregiver for my mom, it was my father and my brother and I. When I was a caregiver for my father, it was mainly, my brother was here, but it was mainly my father and I. I was the main caregiver. Not a day goes by. Have a hard time even now, 3 years later. And just this conversation, and I feel tears in my eyes. Let's see. Sniper says some trash. Gotcha. Her voice says, Moss, one day you will grow old and brittle. Moss says, well, not. I'm going to be a badass grandma. I believe you. I believe you. Warner Boy says, did you hear about the escaped monkeys? I did not. Corey says, sorry, I have not been here a lot as I've been busy lately. Understandable. Chad says, death is crappy. Why would God create death? It's a good question. Here's the take of many mystical traditions. God did not create death. We did. Death itself is an illusion. When you see through the illusion of one, the personality, the ego, when you see through the illusion of the body, and you see who you truly are, birthless and deathless, you neither come, you neither go. When you can see that, and again, it's not impossible to see, it's not even that hard to see. When my dad died, I miss his form tremendously, but I feel his presence always. Whenever those tears well up in a conversation, that's the presence of my father. That's our connection. He's in every bit of everything that I touch in this house. This was his house. I inherited his house. Let's see. Runner Boy says, bunch of monkeys, 40 of them, escaped a research place in America. Well, good for them. Be free monkeys. Corey says, make people feel like they've done something and how much life matters and how short it is. Nice answer there, Corey. Corey says, but scientists working on them and they escaped. I'm glad they escaped. Chance says, I don't know what to believe. What happens when death anymore? Too many what ifs. We talked about this a lot yesterday, last night actually. I don't think it matters, Chad. Remember what I said about the one holy true thing that one can say about the past is that it's not here? We can change that. The one holy true thing that one can say about death is that it's not here. The future, it's not here. You have this moment, and this moment is eternal. As long as you are experiencing this moment, that you are aware, and that you are aware of being aware, you are eternal. Death can't touch you. So you don't need to believe what's going to happen. You don't even need to think about it. Think about this moment. What am I going to choose this moment? Moskva says, I'm going to walk around in the woods at 78 and know where all the mushrooms are. I believe it. I have no doubt. And that's a wonderful goal. With my tail. Let's see. When you're 78, I will be probably 172 years old. And if I'm still around, I'm going to join you in the woods. All right, guys. I'm going to shut things down. Appreciate you all being here. Chad, my friend, always here. 100%. If you want about it and you feel so inspired, let's meditate. Runner Boy says, I'll be with the crabs at that point. Moskva says, how old does that make me? I don't know. But I do remember you saying, who was it? Someone asked you yesterday how old you were, and you said you'd rather not say. So I don't ask people. If you are here, if you're respectful, if you're enjoying the conversation, that's enough. And you have been nothing but respectful and intelligent and kind in every conversation. Let's see. Chad says, okay, good night, friend. Good night to you, my friend. Moss says, 13 to 14. It's a good age, my friend. Runaway says, one day you scuttled your last scuttle. One day you scuttled your last scuttle. I will never scuttle my last scuttle. That's a promise. You heard it here. Let's see. Moskva says, there you go. Laughing. All right. Guys, thanks again for hanging out. I'm going to see everyone. If you're around tomorrow, come on by. Much appreciated. Well said. It's a good saying. Scuttle, you last scuttle. It is a good saying. See you guys. I'm going to take off.